Welcome back to the Foul Scoundrel, everybody. Wow, let's talk the Mandalorian Season 3 finale. Okay, first off, I gotta say the very end of the episode, I was not expecting it to kind of go cut off. All the good guys won. Moff Gideon and the Imperial Remnant done. You know what? Where do we go from here? I don't know. So let's rewind a little bit. Some of the controversy through the season, it brought a few surprises, right? Especially episode, what was it, 3, where they talked about the scientist. I mean, we had the opening scene where there was this horrendous battle between Din Djarin, Bo-Katan Kryze, and the Imperials. This just horrendous space battle, and then 40 minutes of it slowed down. It felt like Andor. Andor was a great series, but it paced a little too slow for my taste. They tried stretching that story out a little too much. In the case of The Mandalorian, okay, The Mandalorian seems to be that show where they're introducing all these other, it kind of breeds spin-offs, okay? So you have Andor, which somewhere in The Mandalorian references the rebels and how and how the Empire went down due to the rebels and how the plans of the Death Star got stolen. And then you have Ahsoka coming up, which Ahsoka was introduced in The Mandalorian. Either The Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett. But I do know The Mandalorian was in the Book of Boba Fett, which was so weird. It was so confusing. So you're watching The Mandalorian Season 2. Then the Book of Boba Fett, and then you're like, okay, The Mandalorian stole the show. I think that right there was a signal to Disney and to their execs saying, okay, we have a problem. The Mandalorian is overshadowing all of our shows. People want to watch this action-packed episode, or I'm sorry, action-packed series, episode by episode, where the Mandalorian and the child are saving the day, or going through something traumatic, or something awesome happens and people are loving it. And then whenever the Mandalorian is in something, say the Book of Boba Fett again, steals the show. I was kind of bored with Boba Fett, and then the Mandalorian showed up. I'm like, oh, he saved the day. He just walked in. I'm like, the show just got better. So yeah, not to say that the Book of Boba Fett was horrible. It isn't how I would have written and directed it, but you know what? It's what we have. Take that for what you will. The Mandalorian, on the other hand, written spectacularly, and I will say Season 3 felt a little off. You know, some people were kind of offset by them bringing in actors that kind of didn't fit their roles. Like in Obi-Wan Kenobi, they brought Flea in from the Red Hot Chili Peppers to play a kidnapper, right? I thought he fit the role just fine, but that's Flea playing a kidnapper. This is the guy that played Needles in Back to the Future, so yeah, it kind of fits the archetype. So, right. When people say, well, they have Lizzo and Star Wars and Jack Black, I was like, you know what? I saw it. I was watching it going, that's an interesting casting call. And then I saw all of the reviews for that episode, and I'm like, okay, I think we lost sight of what Star Wars is. And I don't mean Disney, I mean us. This is what I'm going to say, and I'm just going to anger a few people, but you know what? The Star Wars is for everybody. George Lucas created a galaxy far, far away, built on hope. Everybody who watched Star Wars A New Hope, no matter what you looked like, no matter who you were, fell in love with Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, and Lando Calrissian. Now, he was in Empire Strikes Back. I know all those sticklers for getting it right. But everybody fell in love with those characters. They fell in love with Chewie, R2, and 3PO. and Obi-Wan Kenobi, even Darth Vader, everybody instantly recognizable across the spectrum. Anybody who has ever seen or heard anything about Star Wars knew what it was, right? So, someone saying Lizzo and Jack Black don't belong, maybe I wouldn't have cast them in the roles they were cast, but they belong. They 100% belong. Because if they don't belong, then I don't belong in Star Wars, and our fans don't belong, because it's diverse, man. It is as diverse of a universe as you will ever get. You walk like Mark Hamill said when he was reading the script for A New Hope. He's like, "This is the wildest thing I've ever seen." He's like, "This is crazy. This is nuts. I'm gonna walk in and the bartender's serving a drink to a mouse." Right? That's crazy. You walk into a cantina and Mos Eisley, humans are not. They're few and far in between. You have everything else. Everything, every race, every creed, everybody is together. So when I see Jack Black and Lizzo and Flea and whoever else Disney decides to bring into the Star Wars universe, I'm like, that makes sense to me. Because yeah, that if you look at the you go to LucasArts and you're looking at their writers board, and they have diversity listed twice. Okay, because they want to make sure everybody's included. Granted, some people think, well, they're really pushing a message. So did George Lucas. He pushed hope. I hope my movie does well. I hope people like it. I hope people love the toys. Ding, ding, ding. Love them. Collect them. And I hope people get something from it. A lot of people felt deeply spiritual after watching the Star Wars movies. And getting back to The Mandalorian, I see a lot of fans feeling deeply involved and invested into this character. That's why it works so well in all of these other series. You have the Book of Boba Fett. You have Ahsoka that comes in and interacts with the Mandalorian. You have Luke Skywalker, who came in and completely just blew everybody's mind in season 2. So when I say I'm a little confused, even though I went through all of this, yeah, everybody belongs. Yes, all this diversity. Yes. Do I believe in the Disney vision of Star Wars? If it means that everybody can be involved and enjoy Star Wars, yes. And when I say I'm a little confused, I mean the ending of season 3 left zero possibility of a season 4 unless there's something that we missed, folks. The Imperials, other than the Imperials not on Mandalore, are destroyed. The other Imperials are out there, right? They don't know what to do. They're not sure what they are a ragtag fugitive fleet. It's worse than Battlestar Galactica. They don't know what they're doing. So there's no hope for them. There's no antagonist. There are no Sith that they know of. There's nobody. So the Mandalorian got set up on Navarro with a little house out on the prairie with Grogu, and that's what it was. He just sat there leaning back with his feet propped up on his porch, watching his kid play in the front lawn. And then it just zoomed in on Grogu playing with a frog. What? That's the end? There's no leading into the next story. There's no cliffhanger. There's no I need to redeem myself in the minds of Mandalore anymore, because that's all done. Mandalore was taken back by the Mandalorians. So now you have Din Djarin saying, yeah, I want to work for the New Republic on a case-by-case basis. That is the only thing that it has any hope of extending the Mandalorian. This kind of ending tells me that Disney does not know if they are continuing with the Mandalorian. Because you have, Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, they said, oh yeah, we would love to have 5 seasons of The Mandalorian. We're supposed to have 5 seasons of The Mandalorian. Things change so fast in the House of Mouse. It makes your head spin. Next thing you know, we have Rey coming back in the Star Wars universe. Who saw that coming? After the complete fireball disaster that the sequel trilogy was for the fans, and how weird they connected and didn't connect. It is what it is. I don't hate them. I'm a little confused by them. But bringing Rey back, I really hope they have a good idea. Because Dave Filoni has been pining to do his own Star Wars movie so bad. I really hope that Disney gives him a chance to show everybody his vision, because him and Jon Favreau have really saved the day for Star Wars for the fan. In my opinion, for Star Wars for the fans, because they're fans too. And there's not a better person to direct or create a Star Wars movie than someone who loves Star Wars, because they have it right. It's for everybody. It's not just for the ladies. It's not just for the guys. It's for everybody. I don't know if there's going to be a season 5, because of how they ended. They ended season 3 as if you could just cut it right there and it'd be okay. Really, I mean, this is one of those kind of like Return of the Jedi, right? Return of the Jedi ended, and there was nothing saying that we could continue, even though George Lucas is like, well, there's like 3 more stories I could put out there about how Luke reconstituted the Jedi Order. But that's a tale for another time, right? And they didn't move forward with that. So The Mandalorian is supposed to be 5 seasons. Now we don't know, because I think they're waiting to see how Ahsoka turns out. I bet they're waiting to see if they could just put The Mandalorian in a different series and not have another Mandalorian series, and it would just take off. In my opinion, if I was Disney, I would look at it in that light. I would say, okay, this is a series, this is a character. Now, The Mandalorian doesn't really know what to do with the child. He's like, well, I'm going to adopt him. He's my son now. He is now Din Grogu. Sweet, Din Grogu. Right on. But you know nothing about the Jedi. They're sorcerers now. So, you have this youngling, foundling. You have Din Djarin. You have just a cut ending to season 3. And now you have Ahsoka coming out. Skeleton Crew coming out. You have a new series coming out, and you have a new movie they're working on. How does The Mandalorian fit into that? I don't know. I can't wait to see, because I have a feeling either they're not going to make another season, they're not going to continue with The Mandalorian, and if they do, it's going to be way after all this other stuff comes out. I'm waiting. I bet you they're waiting to see how people react to the new Star Wars content coming out. I'm excited, folks. I was excited for Mandalorian Season 3, and I wasn't let down. I think that there were some areas they could have improved on. I think their casting could have been better. I think, they could have put Lizzo and Jack Black in different roles, but yes, they belong. I wouldn't have put them in such popcorn roles, okay? You show up and instantly you knew something was going on with Jack Black. Yeah, he has that guilty face. And then you have Lizzo just super happy. Super happy. I'm just so glad everybody's here. There's no weapons allowed, but it's part of your culture. Bring your weapons in. And at the end, let's knight Grogu for 0 reason. It's just bubblegum. Yeah, it was great. You know what? And it does fit Lizzo's personality. It was pretty neat. But I would have cast them in different roles. I really would have. I would have put more peculiar people in those roles. Not to mention Christopher Lloyd, who was just perfect for his role. A separatist in the heart of this metropolis. Who knew that they would have a separatist? That was kind of a weird thing to put in there, but I liked it. I loved it. So I wasn't let down by season 3. I had my suspicions with episode 3, right? Where they had this bang and battle scene, and then the rest of the episode was just like, I almost fell asleep. I work nights, folks. And on my day off, I watched this. I was just like, oh my gosh, it's killing me, man. But it was well worth waiting until the end of The Mandalorian to talk about season 3, because it was really cool. Moff Gideon's armor was cool. I like the fact it was bionic. No, I didn't even see that coming. I thought it was just regular Beskar armor. Oh no. Broke Bo-Katan's hand, smashed the Darksaber. Dude got cooked, man. He got cooked by a capital ship crashing into the base. Mega epic. What I liked was Bo-Katan came in and saved Din Djarin, and then Din Djarin came in and saved Bo-Katan, and then they're like, whoops, we're screwed. Everything's turning into fire, and then the child is like, I'll save you both. Boom! Awesome. Well, folks, I'm interested to hear what everybody else has to say about The Mandalorian Season 3. I can't wait to see the fan reaction. I've seen a lot of mixed opinions so far about all of the Star Wars products, and folks, just be happy with what we have, because they're trying. This shows that they are really trying. They needed to put some popular mainstream actors in Star Wars is pop culture. They put these people in there to kind of help boost boost ratings and get a broader audience. Who wouldn't do that? I would do that. Again, cast in different roles. but this is something I would do if I was trying to grow my brand. If Lizzo said, "Foul Scoundrel, I would like to be on an episode of The Smuggler's Run," guess what I'm going to say? Right on, and I want to get knighted too, right? Jack Black said, "Hey, I want to be on an episode of The Foul Scoundrel." Yo, okay, right on. You can be whatever you want, because they're helping me out. They're helping Disney out. They're helping grow Star Wars so that people can enjoy it for more generations, and folks, I'm really happy about that. All right, folks, if this is your first time to my channel, leave a like and subscribe. Hit the notification icon, that way you are notified as soon as more content drops just like this. And remember, folks, if it's from a galaxy far, far away, you're never far from a good time.